So G is set in the Ark universe, and it's the first prequel to our Ark console game. It's our take on a really long and glorious structure of the gravity simulators. And so these go all the way back to the combat games and Death Tank and stuff like that, where the basic idea is real simple, is that gravity works in this world, and I start with a projectile and it flies and curves and you try to get something. So there's a long history of games that do these things, whether that's Gravity, which is a golf game, or Spaced Penguin from Big Idea. So we wanted to take that really basic mechanic of just how a projectile works inside of a gravitational field, and we wanted to put our own spin on it. So we came up with G. And so G is set in a place where there's this new phenomenon that has moved into the local solar system. And what it is it's a huge, like, solar system-wide sort of cloud of gas and dust and rocks. And these guys don't really know what it's about because it's just sort of rolled in like a fog bank. And so you take the place of a sounding officer on the Ptolemy station, and your job is to take basically reconnaissance pictures of different places throughout this field. So you have objects on the screen. In some ways, it works a lot like a puzzle game, where each level presents you with a field that has different objects on it and targets that you have to get your rocket to. And so depending on how you set up the initial parameters of your rocket, whether how strong and how long it burns, because that's kind of an old school idea, we had to do some different things. And so we've added some really neat features to it. For one thing, typically in those games is you set initial parameters like an angle and a strength, and that's it. Once your object is out there, once your projectile, whether it's a missile or a bomb or a penguin or whatever it's going to be, it's out and that's it. Well, what we wanted to do is make it more like a real rocket. And so your rocket has thrust on it, and it has thrust depending on the angle it is. And so yeah, you start out in a certain direction, but you can steer it to a degree. And that thrust is provided across the course of the whole burn cycle. So it's not just an instant, it's a lot of different, it's a time frame that you get to set. Plus you get multiple stages. So you can shoot a rocket out this way, and as gravity bends it around, I can shoot it again and it bounces up. And so you get an opportunity to do really neat things in the levels that you couldn't do with a normal gravity simulator. We've also added some additional obstacles and power-ups and this kind of stuff to make the game more interesting. But at its root, it's one of those gravity simulators. The best thing for us, though, is it allows us a structure where we can start telling the story that's really going on in Ark, and it's pretty exciting stuff.